Hey, conceptual physics students, here's an example of the kinds of things that you'll have to do for the lab practical exam. So you already will have in your possession one of these. It's not a surprise. It's simply a sample of what you'll do on the lab practical circuit test. And so here's how it starts. Number one, you're going to draw the circuit diagram, and you need to put in a battery. So let's imagine the battery positive on this side, negative on this side. Let's put in a switch. Then we need to have a series resistor. That's attached to a parallel of two resistors. Now, the series resistor is going to be a 10 ohm resistor. The two parallels will be a 5 and a 10. And so having done that, you will have gotten credit for drawing the circuit diagram. That's a good start. Now connect the circuit and leave the circuit open. So let's go ahead and get the circuit. Here's the circuit board you're used to. So we're going to start with our battery. And as usual, what we'd like to do is start with the battery negative. The electrons flow out of there. Now the battery negative will be attached, as you can see, to a switch. So we simply clip it on there. The other side of the switch is going to be attached, we'd like to attach it to the 10 ohm resistor. So any old wire will do, doesn't matter what color. Let's go for yellow. So I have the other side of the switch, and it's going to be attached to a resistor. Now, let's figure out where this resistor will go. I need a series resistor. So what I'm going to do in this spring-loaded attachment is simply connect the resistor. This is going to be the series resistor. As you can see, I need to attach this here, and all of the electrons from the battery will arrive right there. Now at that point, they need to split up and go two different directions. So as they go through the resistor, they need to go to two possible resistors, from there to the 10 ohm and to the 5 ohm. Okay, so we basically have branching going on here. Okay, so let's attach a wire from the 10 ohm to this 10 ohm resistor, and attach another wire from that 10 ohm to the 5 ohm resistor. So the electrons have arrived here and they will split up. Some of them going to the 10 ohms, some of them going to the 5 ohm. Now they all need to join back up again. So in order to join back up again, I will simply attach those two. Now they're all joined back up again. And when they finish, as you can see right here, when they finish, they need to leave here and go back to the positive of the battery. So might as well use a red wire and go back to the battery. Now, of course, if you haven't followed that, it looks like a mess, but you have followed that very nicely. Now, we're going to leave the circuit open as it says, and you would get full credit for that part. So we've done that. That's good. Let's measure and record the current coming from the battery. Okay? Well, in order to do that, I would like to count every electron that comes from the battery. So what I will do is, you can see that the black wire coming from the battery, that's the one I have in my hand here. needs to go into the ammeter. Now you've done this in the lab. This is the ammeter. I'm going to switch the ammeter. Let's get this on the screen. It starts in the off position. I'm going to switch it down to 20 amps, which means it will measure 0 to 20 amps. And I need all of the electrons to come into the black. Every electron from the battery will attach to the negative of the ammeter. And I've just attached those. Now the positive, which is the red, needs to go to the switch. So I attach that to the switch. And if I close the switch, you can see that the ammeter records 0 when it's not closed, about 0.09 when it's closed in my particular circumstance. I open it up, and I would record the current being 0.09. Then I need the potential difference across the series resistor. Okay? In order to do that, now I need the voltmeter. Now it's the same device, but this time we're going to switch this to the 2 volt range because we're using a 1.5 volt battery, so it shouldn't be more than the amount of 2 volts. So I need the voltage across just the series resistor. So let's look at which one is the series resistor. Remember, this one is the series resistor. Right? The power is coming from the negative, and so because it's coming from the negative, I'm going to hook the black right there. And the red on the other side. I'll connect the switch, and you can see that it reads 1.029. That's how many volts on the 10 ohm resistor. I'll disconnect the switch, and there's only one other thing to find. The voltage across the 5 ohm resistor. So I will disconnect this and connect it where the electrons arrive at the 5 ohm resistor. I will disconnect the positive and it connects to the other side of the 5 ohm resistor. I will again throw the switch and it now says 0.354 volts. That concludes the entire circuit test. And you can practice this as many times as you want by coming in. I think that should be sufficient. Good luck.